once again to the Friday Beer Break. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Christopher Schreier from the TorontoBeerBlog.com.
Hey, Fred.
And I'm sorry I'm dressed like a douchebag.
I didn't get the memo.
I know, sorry. I'm going out after work and I have no time, so I had to dress up for work, and I apologize.
It's a good look. You need a chain with a pocket watch. That would be...
See, I do like them. I think they add a certain sophisticatedness.
But
Yes.
Durham region representing today.
Yeah, this is from your hood.
Yes, out in Durham.
Niggas up in Ajax, yeah, we keep it raw. To my niggas down to Whitby and in the dirty swamp.
Yeah, this is Five Paddles Brewing. Very, very new brewery. They opened like 4.5 months ago. So they're small. I don't know if you've been to the brewery.
No.
But,
I never do anything. I go home and I watch the Wonder Pets.
What else can we do around here for fun?
Their main focus, they do accounts. So they have bars that sell their beer.
Always be closing.
And then they sell bottles at their retail, but pretty small production to the point where it's not uncommon if you're there on a Friday of a cottage weekend that they don't have beer in the fridge, and they're literally pulling it out of the fermenters and capping it and handing it to you. They're like, okay, how many do you want? 8? Okay, it's gonna be 37 seconds, hang on.
This is easier. Yeah, we can handle this okay.
They're still quite a small, growing
But
business.
I have heard a lot of news about these guys. I remember it was back in June, I think I started hearing about them, and when we were starting to get the beer break back, I remember saying to you, how long until we can get these guys on? Let's keep it as local as possible. And then last week, after we posted the newly edited version of
the new style.
The new style.
Cuts.
Chris Santos, great man.
Yes.
I hate shows that cut away from the story for some bull crap.
We had people.
We have people that were emailing and tweeting, going, "Why aren't you getting these guys on there?"
What about
We're
Five Paddles? What about Five
because
Paddles?
like they've never asked us to,
And they've only existed for 4.5 months.
Give us a break.
We film in advance.
So we've got Five Paddles today.
Yeah, we
What
should
is
actually
this
get
style?
drinking.
Let's
So
get
this
drinking.
is, I want to get the name exactly right. This is their pumpkin coffee porter. Now, another cool thing about them, they make their Midnight Paddler, I think is the name of the stout that they do. But other than that, they just kind of make beer that they want to make. So they're like, well, what are we going to make today? Going to make a pale ale? Let's make a pale ale. Let's bottle it. Let's sell it. We're going to sell it.
I'm glad that they're not doing the pale ales.
They
I
do
feel
do
like-
it. They do a pale
well,
ale.
no,
but
I mean, like, I'm glad that they're doing more things than just a pale ale.
Then,
I feel like
yeah.
pale ales are everywhere these days.
Sure.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
Because I know you're going to be drinking after, we'll go half-seas, all right?
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, so they do. They just make a wide variety of pretty cool beers.
A pumpkin stout.
Porter. Yeah, this is a
What's the
pumpkin
difference between
coffee
stouts
porter.
and porters? I always just think anything really dark and heavy is a stout.
Oh, historically, there's a solid argument that there's no difference. That historically they're the same beer. They've shared names.
But is porter more over the stuff that they were like the Baltic porters they were shipping to Russia?
No, it was literally the same beer. It was just how different breweries referred to it. Modern standards, and because I know beer geeks right now want to kick me in the teeth, the BJCP, which is the body that sort of oversees North American.
That heavily tonight, by
there
the
you
way.
go. The BJCP oversees the styles in North America. North America, we're not talking Europe here. Their main difference between porter and stout is black patent malt. Stouts have black malt, porters don't. So stouts have a tendency to be slightly darker and have a bit more smoke.
That's pretty
BJCP.
dark.
But this is dark. I mean, if you look at the edges, there's brown, and if you hold it up to a really bright light, you can see kind of brown and red through it. But the stout porter thing,
There we go. That's a good
my rule of thumb is do what the brewer tells you. If they say it's a porter, it's a porter.
If they say it's a stout, it's
It's a stout, right? It's not worth getting your knickers in a
pumpkin?
twist. So yeah, I mean, obviously seasonal. You asked for pumpkin beer. I got you.
I
a
love
pumpkin
pumpkin
beer.
beers.
So they've got pumpkin in here with coffee, and it's interesting. I actually have had this now before. So when you nose it, you get a lot of pumpkin.
You do.
And not a whole lot of coffee. It's there, but not a whole lot.
But as I just tasted it, when you taste it,
It flips it around.
totally, you
It's
can
huge
really
coffee.
taste that coffee.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, and not to sound douchey, but very complex flavor profile.
What a douche.
There's a lot going on in there.
There's the roast of the coffee, without a doubt. And you do get roastiness from the malts as well. There's clearly a dry bitterness, which is going to be a combination. You remember we talked last week about the hops and malt can both have impacts. When you've got very dark charred malt, it will impact bitterness. So we've got a bit of that. And definitely, there's on the taste, on the nose, the pumpkin's very aromatic. On the palate, it's there, but it's almost more like a sweetness as opposed to a squashiness.
A very sweet flavor on this one.
Yeah. So I think it's amazing. It's really good.
I think it's fantastic that you've got a beer like this coming out of a brand new brewery. Mm-hmm. And it feels like they did everything right with this one.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, check them out. They're on Facebook and the usual spaces and stuff. But they just they're literally just making batches of stuff that they want to make. So they say, what are we going to make this week? Let's make it. And
What are we going to do tonight?
What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
make a new beer. But
that'd be a great show.
That would be a good show. But like I said, I think there's 5 of them. I mean, I think most of them still have day jobs.
We don't want to have 2 jobs for until we retire.
They're doing this because they want to make good beer, and more power to them. And
this
yeah,
is
I mean, it's
really good.
Yeah,
beer.
I know you're really working it here.
I'm working on this one really
I'm
hard.
getting
this
to talk
is really
a whole lot.
good. Keep talking, because then I can drink.
But their first big account was a place called Buster Rhinos, which I don't know if you've been to, but they say it's the best barbecue in Durham. And so Buster Rhinos brought them in. All of a sudden, you know, Durham's like, oh no, we do. We want some craft beers out there. I mean, Durham Brewery has been around for ages and ages, but all of a sudden there's this real movement now where outside of the city, it's growing too, which is great. And I mean, that's exactly what they're doing, and they're part of it. So
it's fantastic. I'm going to go to my local watering hole in Ajax, McGuire's, and I'm going to tell them to get this on tap.
You should say, check it out. You know, look them up online. Very easy to find, and they will. They're limited, like I say. They're still a small brewery, but they're looking for accounts, and you'll find them around Toronto. The usual suspects.
5 Paddles, pumpkin porter,
coffee pumpkin porter,
words, a lot of them. Fantastic beer, coffee pumpkin porter.
Yeah.
Coffee pumpkin porter.
I think. No, pumpkin coffee porter.
Pumpkin
But it's great.
Coffee porter. It's PCP. Fantastic stuff.
I love doing PCP.